Lokesh, Lokesh sir. Alright, I'll just teach them. So we did stack before. Today what we're going to do is queues. Alright. So this is like a small animated video which will like help you understand how a queue actually works. Wait a second. Nagashri ma'am, did you submit your contact details? If you have not done it, please right now WhatsApp your contact details to the HR, please, with your name.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, do it right now, quickly. And Lokesh sir, if you can hear me, please do it right now, very quickly, please. So what happens in a queue is again like stack, it is just a normal array. Like when you make a queue, you use a normal array, but just you make it function in a certain way. So in stack, what the concept was of, last in, first out. It was LIFO, it was last in, first out. Whatever element was entered at the end, at the last, that would be popped out first. If you guys have revised it, you would know. And in queue, it's a FIFO manner, which is first in, first out. Like what happens in an actual queue when you make a queue in your school or in front of a cinema hall for tickets or whatever. You enter from the back, from the rear end, you enter from the back, from the rear end, and then you exit from the front, right? So if you entered first in the row, okay, you did, then that is fine. So if you have, entered from, if you were the first person to enter the queue, sorry, you would be the first person exiting it too, right? Like if you enter the queue first, you will exit first. In stack, it was the reverse. If you enter first, you will be exiting at the end. In a queue, if you enter first, you will be exiting first. Now, one thing I want you to see, we in stack we used one pointer that was called top. It will stay at the top of the stack at all times. In queue, we have two pointers. One is called the front and one is called the rear. Now it's exactly what it says. It's the rear end, which is the back end of the queue, and this is the front end of the queue. From the front, elements will be exiting, and from the rear, elements will be entering. So when the queue is empty, when the complete queue is empty, both rear and front are equals to -1. When a stack was empty, top was -1. When a queue is empty, both front and rear are -1. Let's see what happens. They've added one element. Both, when a single element is present in a queue, whenever a single element is present in a queue, maybe over here or over here, wherever, both front and rear point to the same box. So both front and rear, the value of front and rear will be the same. When the queue is empty, both front and rear are -1. But if the queue has only one element, both front and rear will be equal in the value. Now this time they did not move the front, they just moved the rear. Why? Because now there are two elements, so elements enter from the rear. So every time an element is entered, we keep on increasing rear. Every time an element is entered, we keep on increasing the value of rear, because elements enter from the rear end and we do nothing to the front. We do not change the front while we are adding elements to the queue. We do not change the front while we are adding elements to the queue. While we are adding elements to the queue, we only increase the rear pointer. See, now when they're deleting elements, they're deleting it from the front. So every time an element is deleted from the front pointer is shifted, right? And nothing is done to the rear pointer. Elements are deleted from the front and they are added from the rear. We keep on deleting them, and see, again, when there's only one element left, there is only 30 left, there's only one element left, both rear and front are pointing to the same element. When there's only one element left, both of them will point to the same box. They will have the same value. All right. Is it clear? Anybody has any query? Anybody wants to ask something?
No, ma'am.
No? All right. So we'll move on to the code. Today we are only going to do Q, and for your task you would be, coding the, like whatever code I'm showing you would have to recreate it yourself. So pay attention, please. So we are going to we made this class. All right. We made this class Q, and this is just the class from where we'll be. This is the one where we are working. All right. This is your class Q. You can call it whatever you want. And it's similar to stack. It's similar to stack. How we code it for stack. We have an array which will store the Q elements. We have the front and the rear, which are your pointers. This will be your front end. This will be your rear end. Then we have the capacity, which is the maximum size of the queue, or the length of the queue is capacity, all right, the size. And then we have this count, which will keep count of how many elements are present in the queue at the moment. Count will keep track of how many elements are present in your queue. All right. So then we made this constructor. We've done constructor, and this is a parameterized constructor. Pay attention. This is not a default empty kind of constructor. This is a parameterized constructor where we are sending the size of the queue, and we are just assigning a default value to them. So we initialize the array as array equals to new int, and we gave the size. We did capacity equals to size because this is the maximum size of the array of the queue. We did front minus one and rear minus one. Why? Because right now your queue was empty. You saw it in the animation when the queue was empty. Both rear and front were minus one. And then we have count equals to 0 because there's no element right now. Is this much clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then we made some helper functions, helper methods, you can call them. These are for calculating, for checking certain conditions. So some conditions that we would need to know in a queue is if the queue is empty, if the queue has only one element in it, because or if it is full. These are some conditions that we will need to check before we are entering an element or we are deleting an element from the queue. Why? Because let's say the queue is empty, you cannot delete an element from the queue. You have to check first, like if it is empty or is it not empty, right? You, if the queue is full, you cannot enter more elements in it. And why we are checking the, if it has only one element left, we will discuss it right now in the code, that why do we need to check that, does the queue have only one element, right? So to check if the queue is empty, it's very easy. If the front and rear both are minus one, that means it is empty, so we return true, which is a boolean value, or true. Otherwise we return false. If both front and rear are minus one, that means the queue is completely empty. And the queue is full when count equals capacity. So capacity is your size. We gave the value capacity of size of the array, and your count is the total number of elements present in the queue at the moment. So if the number of elements in the queue is equals to the size of the queue, that means your queue is full. Otherwise we will return false. That means it is not full right now. And for checking if it has only one element, we will check, we just discuss the condition. If rear and front are equal, if rear and front are equal, and rear is not equals to minus 1, that means rear and front are equal but they are not minus 1. If they're minus 1, that means it is empty. But if the value is not minus 1 but they are equal, that means there's only one element in the complete queue. We discussed it right now with the animation. I hope these three methods are clear. To check, how to check if it is empty, how to check if there's only one element, and how to check if it is full.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we will write a method to add an element to the queue, and adding an element is called enqueue. To enqueue, which means to add an element in the queue. So this is the element that we're going to add. So we sent a number and then we check if is full. If it is full is your this method. We check if is full, we will print overflow. That means it is completely filled and you cannot add any more elements in it. And then we write this system.exit1. What is system.exit1? This terminates your program abruptly. That means as soon as the compiler will read system.exit1, it will just stop your program and it will just exit the complete code totally. It will not go on to do anything else. This is like an escape kind of feature. You can just completely exit your code. Because if it is an overflow situation, we cannot enter any number and we just exit from the code. Else, if it is empty, what we are doing, we will increase the rear by 1 and we will also increase the front by 1. You saw it in the animation. If both rear, like if the complete queue was empty, that means both rear and front are minus 1. In that situation, when you enter an element, you need to increase both the rear and the front. Right? You saw it in the animation. There's only one situation where you increase both rear and front together. That is when the queue is completely empty. That time you will increase both rear and front together. So that's what we are doing. And if it is not even empty and it is not full, and in that situation, we will just increase the value of rear by 1. All right. Are you understanding when and why are we doing these? If it is full, we will just print overflow and exit. If it is empty, we will increase rear and we will increase front. If it is not empty and it is not even full, at that time we will just increase rear by 1. And after that, what we will do outside all of these if and else's, we are adding the number in the array. We'll add array rear equals to num and we'll increase the counter by 1 because we entered a new element in the array. That means the number of elements in the queue have increased. Look at the code once more, and if it's not clear, let me know, and then we will run it and see how it works. Move on to running it. So we made this another class which is small q, and we made the object. We said q object equals to new q, and we send this number 2. Why are we sending this? Because the constructor takes an integer. If I do not write this 2, it will give me an error. See, it is giving me an error. The constructor q is undefined. Why? Because the constructor we have defined is with an integer. So I need to send a value, and this is going to be the size of the queue. So I'm just taking it 2 so that it's easier to show you guys all the scenarios. Now I'm going to enter a value. So let's say in queue, and let's enter 10. And I'm going to control save it. And see, I'm doing one thing so that it's easier for you to see. So when the situation of overflow will happen, it will show overflow. And I'm doing this. I'm just adding a system dot out dot println, and it will tell you when it is empty. All right. So when the first element is added in your queue, that means the very first element is added in the queue, at that time this part of the code should function, right? How will you know it will print empty when this part of the code will be functioning, right? And if it is not, then this part of the code will function. So let's try adding two values to it. Well, let's try with one first. See, it printed empty. Why? Because it did that means when it worked, it did not go to the overflow part. It did not go to this part. It went to this empty part, right? Now let's try adding two values. Let's say 20 and run it again. You got empty and then you got nothing. That means your value was added. Two values are added, and the size is 2. That means it can accept only two values. But let's see what happens when I try to enter three values at once. So the 2 was fine. Let's see what happens when we add 3. It gave me overflow, right? It gave overflow. Till two values, it was working all right. When we gave three values, we got the overflow. Why? Because the size of the array and the number of the count, your count variable, the number of elements became equal. So in that situation, the is full, this thing became true and it printed overflow and just exited. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you please explain again?
Which
Overflow.
part?
Overflow.
See, overflow happens when the your queue is completely full and you're trying to enter another element, right? Like your queue is full, you have no more space left, and you're trying to insert an element. That's when overflow happens. So we gave our queue size 2. The size we passed was 2, right? And so for two values, it was working fine. When you entered the third one, it showed you overflow. How did it show you? You check over here, right? If is full. What do you check in is full? That count equal capacity. Capacity is just your size. So your size were 2 and count also became 2 after entering the first two values. When you entered the first two value 10 and 20, your count became 2 and your capacity was also true. So this became true and then it came over here and printed overflow and exited the code. And you increase your count over here. Every time you enter an element, you increase count. Right. So now we will work on dequeue, which is deleting elements from the queue. All right. We do the same thing. We check is empty. Over here, what we check is full for entering elements. Here we check if it is empty, then the situation is of underflow and you cannot. You should even have the system.exit over here, by the way. Yes. Underflow, you cannot delete an element from the queue. If there is no value present, if the queue is completely empty and there is no value present, how can you delete an element? You cannot do it, right? So you do that and then you check if it has one element. If it has one element, only one element, then you remove that element and you reset front, rear, and count. You do front equals to -1, rear -1, count 0. Why? Because when it had only one element left and you removed that one, so you went back to having an empty queue, right? You went back to having an empty queue, and the conditions for an empty queue were that your front and your rear should be -1 and your count should be 0. That's when you have an empty queue. So that's why we checked the has one element. We made that method separately and we checked if it has only one element, so we will remove that element. We printed removed a like we printed the array of front, from the front, the elements are removed from the front and they are added from the rear. So over here we were using rear, and over here we are using front, and then we reset it front to -1, rear to -1, and count to 0. Are you understanding this portion? I hope you understand. I think the animation made it more easier to understand. Uh, did you understand this concept of having only one element and deleting it?
Understood, ma'am.
Okay. So we had this situation, and we had the normal when it is not empty and it is not even like the last element in your queue. You will simply remove, you will print this removed certain element, and you will decrease count by 1. Every time you enter a element, you increase count by 1, and when you remove element, you decrease count by 1, and you will do front is equal to front plus 1. We will move front forward because an element was removed, so the front will move forward. All right. So now let's try doing it. Let's try. And I will remove this. So we are adding these two values, 10 and 20, and then we are removing one value. All right. It said removed 10. If you notice, you entered the 10 first, and after that you entered the 20. And when you removed an element, you got 10. You did not get 20. 20 was the last added element. What was the first added element? First 10 was entered, then 20 was entered. And when you removed, you got 10. And if you do it again, then you will get 20 afterwards. If you do it twice, if you get 10, and then you will get 20. Whatever is entered first is removed first. And if you try removing it again, so both are 10 and 20 have been, removed, but we will try doing it the third time. Let's see what happens. So 10 get removed, 20 get removed, and then you get underflow because there's no more element left. There was nothing left and you're trying to remove it, so you get underflow. Is it clear? Is this whole concept clear to you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so anybody has any problem? Anybody has any doubts that you maybe you want to ask?
मैम इसमें स्कैनर क्लास यूज करके यूजर से इनपुट ले सकते हैं ना?
स्कैनर, हाँ हाँ, ले सकते हैं जरूर। स्कैनर यूज करके आप यूजर से इनपुट ले सकते हैं। यहाँ पे वी कैन इवन ट्राई, कर ही लेते हैं क्योंकि अभी टाइम है क्लास का। और can do import. And you can ask the user like this. Enter a value added. You can send this S if you want. So you can ask again. let's say we gave 100 and then we gave 200, so it removed 100, 200. So you see that it works when you even ask the user to enter a value. Okay, so I think more people are. Have all of you joined the classroom, the Google Classroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you've not done it, please do it. You're supposed to submit all of your tasks over there now. Even all the tasks will be given over there. So for today's task, I will be putting the task over in the classroom. You guys can go and check it and solve it. So this is all for the class that I wanted to discuss today was for queues. So now you've done queues and you've done stacks, and on Monday we will be going on to do linked lists. All right, on Monday we'll be doing linked list. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me right now regarding anything, or otherwise you can start leaving.
हेलो मैम।
Yes, sir.
मैम क्यों में 100 एंड 200 ऐड इंसर्ट करवाया नहीं था, तो फिर ये रिमूव कैसे हुआ?
ये इंसर्ट यहाँ पे कराया ना, ये जब हमने कहा कि एंटर जब यूजर वैल्यू कर रहा था तो उसको हम लोग यहाँ पे करा तो रहे हैं ऐड। जैसे यूजर ने वैल्यू भेजी तो उसके हमने लिखा ऑब्जेक्ट डॉट इनक्यू वी जो यूजर ने पहले 100 दिया था तो 100 एंटर हुआ, फिर यूजर ने 200 दिया तो 200 एंटर हुआ। इसलिए जब हमने डिलीट किया तो 100 और 200 वहां से डिलीट हो रहा था।
और मैम जैसे ट्रैवर्स करवाते हैं क्यू का,
हम्म।
तो मतलब क्यू में अभी प्रेजेंट में कौन कौन से एलिमेंट है, तो उसके लिए लूप यूज करना पड़ेगा शायद।
हाँ, जैसे नॉर्मल आप एरे को करते हैं ना, ये है तो क्यू क्या है, क्यू है तो एरे ही ना, क्यू सिंपली एरे ही तो है। तो अगर आपको सारे एलिमेंट्स एक एक करके प्रिंट करवाने हैं तो नॉर्मल अपना फॉर लूप लगा लो और उसको मतलब वही नॉर्मल जैसे करते हैं मतलब आई इक्वल्स टू 0 लेस देन एरे डॉट लेंथ और आई
यस।
प्लस प्लस करके सारे एलिमेंट प्रिंट करा दो, जो एलिमेंट्स है वो सारे प्रिंट हो जाएंगे। आप
ओके।
ट्राई करके देखना, अगर आप अटकोगे उसमें नहीं आएगा तो फिर मुझसे पूछ लेना नेक्स्ट सेशन में।
यस मैम।